G'day mates, welcome back to Pharaoh. Today we're heading into the sister mission from last time. So we did Papyrus Oasis, and that was a hell of a military orientated one last time. We are moving into a hopefully more peaceful mission, which is going to be Djedu, worshipping Ra. Let's head on in.
The reigns of Khufu and Kharfra have come to an end, and with them so too has the fourth dynasty of Egyptian ruling families. But Lady Kentakawis, a distant member of this family, has given birth to a new pharaoh named Userkaf. And so the royal line continues unbroken. With Userkaf begins the fifth dynasty, an era that promises much change. Userkaf has decentralized the rule of our country somewhat, and has granted more power to local authorities. Now nomarchs such as you are free to handle their own affairs. Pharaoh will not attempt the construction of a massive tomb to house him for eternity, for he has another project in mind for you. Pharaoh has declared Ra, god of the sun and of the kingdom, to be king of the gods, and intends to proclaim his sovereignty throughout the land. Many sun temples already dot the Egyptian landscape, but Pharaoh wishes that the greatest be located at Djedu, in the humid delta region of Lower Egypt. Like most of the delta, Djedu is rich in game, fish, and other wildlife and vegetation, but offers few mineral resources. As such, sandstone needed for construction of the Sun Temple will need to be imported from the quarries at On. Cattle may be raised here to provide meat, though the herds require much straw for fodder. You'll need to clear land in order to create a suitable location for the Sun Temple. Be sure to sell enough of the precious timber you may harvest first, for once it is gone, you may not be able to acquire more. Bedet and Abjadu are always in need of wood and also game. Thus, trade with them should help to offset the cost of constructing this sacred monument.
Alrighty, we're building another sun temple here. Now, I think I misheard what happened here. He said imported from the quarries at On, he said, which is a different town. Dunkwal Oasis is something going on there. Maybe the narrator had a different script. Anyway, we are going to head on into the city and see what we've got. Okay, having a look now. This is a beautiful, lush green area. Lots of water. I do like these maps. Although they do tend to have malaria, you do need to keep an eye out for that. So let's have a quick scroll. Okay, we've got loads of timber down here. Fair bit of farmland, some hunting area. A little bit more farmland down the south. And lots up here. And again, more timber up north. So it's almost like a mirrored map, this one. Except for this stuff over here. This is our main island, so we'll be exporting a lot of papyrus. And I suspect wood as well. Let's have a quick look here. On will buy a tiny little bit of wood. That's not that much, actually. No one will buy papyrus. Who else have we got? Nobody up north. Okay, let's have a quick look down here. Looks like Dunkwal Oasis is the only one, and they will buy papyrus from us. So they'll actually buy a fair bit from us. So we are fairly limited in what we can do here. We are not going to be exporting huge amounts by the looks of things. You are a land route and you are a water route. Oh, well, we'll figure that out as we go along. I'm going to actually have a quick look at what we can farm. Grain only. And our gods are three of them. Osiris, patron, god of the underworld, and for some reason farming in this particular game. So I'm going to prepare some housing blocks, and I'll be back when we've done all of that. Okay mates, this is what I have got set up so far. Super Sajuk, another LP, another YouTuber out there, has actually designed this housing block for me, and I'm going to be using it on this mission to see how it holds up. If it holds up at least as well as the other one I've been using, then I will be continuing to throw it in and mix it in with a couple of my other housing blocks as we go on, keep a bit of variety. If it doesn't, then I'm sorry mate, as much as I like you, if it doesn't work, I won't be using it. So we'll see how this one goes. This is my first time testing at this mission. You can see here as well, we have a funny shape worth of gardens. I have, provided I've done it correctly, it was done by memory. Look at that, I am brilliant. I've managed to fit out a little space, so I know where that is going to fit. I can build all around this without actually, without actually worrying about blocking off where I have this set aside in my mind in the city. So it will be a very beautiful sun temple right here. So down here we have ourselves some area where we're going to be setting up woodcutters. We're going to have our dock set up behind here, and we'll be able to tap this little island down here. Unfortunately, feeder housing is going to be required. This is a very, very losing sort of a game here. It will provide us what we require to tap that beautiful, beautiful lumber across there. Okay, people are immigrating, and the block is actually beginning to take shape, as you can see here. I think I'll have my little, this is a bit of a reversal on how Sajik designed it, but I think it will hopefully flip around. We can have the pavilion down here and all the other little bits in as required. So it's time to set up our wood cutting industry. We're going to throw down, I don't know exactly how many we need. Let's start with 4 woodcutters. That should be sufficient for the time being. We're going to throw up our dock right. It doesn't really matter, but we'll put you there, and we'll throw a storage yard, you know, right there, and that should allow us to hopefully accept all the timber we can drop in, and they'll be able to export that straight out as required. Now this whole area here can be set up for a whole bunch more little yards as required, and I think we're actually going to throw down another storage yard right here, and you are only going to accept where are we? Game meat. We're actually going to start with game meat to begin with. I could go off and do some farming, and I probably will do that in the very near future. But for the time being, I would like to just start on getting the hunting lodges all set up. These guys here are never going to be particularly happy. They're going to have hard, miserable lives. I may work on getting a proper little area set up and remove this feeder housing at a later date. But for the time being, we're going to go all hunting, all feeder housing for this area. Okay, I've decided to diversify slightly on our food, and I've gone and grabbed a little fishing area that I'm going to put down here, a little bit more feeder housing for the time being. But there is a lot of beautiful land over here that we can throw into housing blocks, and we will need the population later. But we are right down on our money, so it's time to open up the first trading route. 300 Debins should be sufficient, and we can begin to sell off some of this wood. Now, we can only sell about 1,500... Ooh, missed what I was clicking. We can only sell about 1,500 per year, which is a small concern. That is a very limited amount of wood, but you have got to be kidding me. Far out. Note to self, always throw down these when even when you don't think you need them. I had totally forgotten I had blocked off these areas. There goes all our wood, and we are now going to go into debt. That is what... well, it's terrible, terrible, terrible timing. I have no idea what we're going to do. We're going to not be able to trade very much in the near future. We are, without a doubt, going to go into debt for the first time. Let's see if we can... There we go, out of money. We gained 2,500 Debins, which is our one-off boost that we're going to get, and hopefully we will not need to make use of that again. And I did it again. I am clearly very, very much out of practice. I can't believe what is going on here. That is a granary full of food that has just been destroyed. I really think I need to get my act together a little bit here. Anyway, we have about to sell a bunch of wood, our first supply of wood, before we run out of money again. So they're going to buy 1,200, which is unfortunately going to be pretty much the year's supply of wood. So we'll see how we go. And look at that beautiful cash just roll in. That is all they're getting though. That is 1,100. We're going to sell another 400 this year. So we have to make do with what we've got. Okay, the city is short by about 5 workers, so at this point what we're going to need to do is get a feeding put down. We'll get the bazaar worker to go out there and begin feeding these people up, and this will allow this block to evolve and give us the workforce that we require. Over here, I've already thrown down the required infrastructure, so I won't forget again. Been burning too many things in the city. We are set up, all nicely set up here to begin working on our papyrus industry. We're going to get that done quick smart. So once our population actually begins to... well, the houses level up and we get our population, then we'll be able to expand out there and make some real money. Okay, first request from Pharaoh, 500 Debins. We're not actually mining gold, but for some reason he still wants us to send some pieces of gold. There we go, Pharaoh. Enjoy it. Okay, we have just over 1,000 people calling our city home now, and we have enough unemployment to actually begin expanding. We're going to throw down a bunch of reed gatherers along here. I reckon there. I'm going to throw down probably 4 of them. I think that is a nice, comfortable amount for this amount here. It'll probably overtap these reeds a little bit quickly. But what we can do now is throw down as many papyrus makers as we can reasonably expect to staff, which for the time being is probably going to be that many. Was that 7 of them? I think that is probably not enough. We're going to have some leftover reeds, but that's fine. We'll be using it at the rate that these 7 can manage. And with that, we'll throw a quick storage yard here, a little sneaky storage yard, and that will accept only papyrus. You can export reeds on this map, but there's an absolute waste. Reeds are possibly the cheapest good in the entire game. Let's have a quick look at that. Reeds are at 23. Only straw appears to be cheaper. Oh, there you go. And grain. Grain and straw are the only two things cheaper than reeds. At least for exporting. So that is an absolute waste. You may as well save the reeds and just convert them to papyrus as much as possible. It's not even worth the space on the caravan trains that will come and get it. They'll just be buying up reeds instead of other more valuable goods. So we're going to work on that and get our export industry going. Okay, and with that we have a fairly solid little supply of papyrus here ready to export as required. The industry is working beautifully and nothing appears to be burning down. I couldn't time this better. That was spectacular timing. We're going to throw a roadblock right there. I was just thinking that it may be useful to have a roadblock to ensure that they do the full loop here. Anyway, let's try and avoid all of that. Honestly, I couldn't have timed that better. That was spectacular timing. We're going to throw down more papyrus makers. Thankfully, the wood exports are giving us enough cash. But with that, though, we're going to go and open up Dunkwil Oasis. Now, they will sell us the sandstone that we require, but they're also going to buy papyrus from us. So 1300 is a very expensive trade route, but with that we can sell a hell of a lot of papyrus. They will buy pretty much everything we can make, at least for the early part of the game. Actually, probably I am overstripping them slightly, but that doesn't matter. I'll be able to use that for my own people in the near future. And we've ducked into debt again briefly. A little bit unfortunate, I wasn't paying attention, but you can see here I have done some serious expansion on this side of the river. I've built a brand new housing block over here, and it's going to be fully populated and hopefully level up very quickly. I've also got a whole bunch of grain coming in. We don't need the food. We have more than sufficient food, but I just thought I would throw down a couple of these to absorb unemployment that is building up, especially from this new block. And thank you. And I'll be able to... Excuse me, and I'll be able to at least justify the fact that I'm absorbing unemployment by making work for them at the very least. We can store... Good stuff, brilliant. We can actually store... Get rid of those as well. I'll be building the monument shortly. We can actually store the grain here, and it will come in useful if anything were to go wrong later down the track, or if we begin to expand even further. Hopefully these blocks can hold... I don't know how much. I think they're a little bit smaller than some of my other blocks. I'm not entirely sure just yet. We'll see how much they can go, but it's a 1500 for that there, so we should put our target 4,000 I think for this mission. Yeah, 4,500. So if these are leveled up to at least maybe pottery or even common residences or something, as high as I can get them comfortably, I think we will have more than sufficient in these two areas. Now you can see here we are beginning to run into a little bit of debt simply because it's towards the end of the year and we've sold... It seems like we have entirely run out of employees. Is it that bad? Oh, I know exactly what it is. Wow, that is really, really bad of me. I no doubt people have been screaming at their monitors at how stupid that was, but there you go. It looks like all of these got completely cut off. This was a bit of a problem. Thankfully, nothing burned down just yet. Okay, I have myself a little temple complex to Osiris here. I don't believe we've actually built one of these before, so let's have a quick look at what he does. So he will allow us to stretch the supplies of food and goods. So as the priests walk around the city, all houses will suddenly use less food and other pottery goods and stuff. And when we honour Min in our city, trees and reeds will regrow quicker. That is actually very, very useful for this particular map. So again, we've gone into debt while building that. I don't pay attention to money very often, but as soon as we have the cash, I will actually build those two additions. They will be very, very useful for us. Oh, that's very nice. A new trade route has opened up to Djedu. Let's have a quick look at what Djedu will do. They will buy nothing particularly useful. Bricks may be useful if we can import the clay for them, because we'll have straw coming out of our ears. But they are going to sell us barley. Does anyone else sell barley? That's the question. Let's have a quick look here. Barley, no, that is the only route that will sell us barley, so we're going to have to bring that in the near future to level up. Alright, we have more than sufficient cash. Let's have a quick look at our unemployment. 20% is very, very high, so with that we're actually going to put it to good use, and we're going to begin importing... What are we going to import? We're going to import a lot of clay. We have lots and lots of clay coming in, so we're going to want you to accept up to 1/4 and pottery up to 3/4. You, my friend, will also accept up to 1/4 of clay. In the near future, I may turn you into a brick storage area, but for now, you're going to be pottery as well. So let's actually import that clay. and set up our pottery area. A request for 1,000 wood. We do not actually have that, so we're going to have to slow down our imports. It may be that it's May, so we may be able to just wait it out. And again, there's another fire here. For some reason, these guys are absolutely shocking. I hate to do it, but I think we're going to have to throw in a little bit of feeder housing behind these here. They are just not walking the correct direction. They keep walking down here and getting lost. And unfortunately, the fire houses are not going up that direction. So we're going to throw down a couple of those there. And we're going to roadblock off this area here. Again, not something I like to do, but something that has become a little bit necessary. And here we go. Compliance for wood is now possible. And if keen-eyed among you may notice a massive fire in the background. I have no idea what's going on with these fires. There seem to be absolutely nothing going on. That set us back a number of years. That is all our sandstone completely destroyed. So we currently only have 32 blocks remaining. I don't know what's going on with the city. These fire marshals are doing a shocking job. So hopefully they will pick their act up a little bit in future. Oh, that's good timing. A new trade route to Djedu. Let's have a quick look at Djedu. What are we getting from them? They will buy game meat, bricks, clay. They'll actually buy a lot of wood. That is very, very nice. Sadly, it is a land trade route, and they're going to have to come a long way down. I'm going to open it anyway because we're currently in debt. And we're going to watch them come all the way down here, unfortunately. It's, yeah, you're going to have to go a water crossing. It will slow them down a little bit. It actually may be worthwhile throwing down a couple more lumber cutters because we are not tapping all this beautiful, beautiful stuff over here. And when we build up our things, we'll actually finally get enough money and build the stuff up here, the woods will regrow even quicker. So we'll be able to make a lot more cash. Okay, the price of wood has gone up. We are going to make a lot of money. There's another one as well. Increased trading. More slabs of meat. That's not really relevant to us just yet. So increased wood trading. It's definitely good that we've really upped our capacity here. So we are going to have more than sufficient wood cutting capabilities. May even be worthwhile going across here and tapping for the land trade route up here. And leave this one for the water trade route. Not sure what I'm going to do just yet, but we'll see how this ends up going. And down here I have added on the oracle and the, whatever you call it, the altar. So we now have increased reed and wood regrowth rates. This will really help us on this mission, although you can see we're not tapping either of them just yet. Okay guys, welcome back. You may notice the city has changed quite a bit. There is a reason for that. I have been talking quite a lot with my microphone completely muted. So I'm not entirely sure how much you've missed off, but we have managed to gain enough sandstone to actually build up. This monument has only just been placed down. I've only just thrown down a couple of these, what they call them, stonemasons yards. And we have down here our single carpenters guild. In the meantime as well, I have leveled up our housing to common residents by throwing down some scribal schools, courthouse, and by bringing in beer over here. It is a very, very simple thing. I do my standard, same as with the pottery. I've got 2 yards accepting a quarter each, and I'm currently importing enough barley to fill up half a yard. So a quarter will go here, and a quarter will go there, and that is generally enough, except when we run out of barley imports as now, it is generally enough to keep these guys working at full speed. Up here I have the getting warehouse, of course getting the beer, and we are basically fully developed as far as we're going to go. I'll have a quick look at all our things here. Unemployment is currently at 6%, which is not too bad. Sandstone is currently re-importing again, and we have prosperity through the roof. Culture, of course, is a limiting factor, but I can work on that at a later date. And of course, no overseer monuments. So I think I've covered everything that I had before. We will hopefully continue on where we were. Oh, look at that. Sun Temple finished very quickly. I wasn't even looking at it, as is the case. I had my beautiful time-lapse all set up. And, of course, they finished off that last little bit down there. But either way, we are all done. The temple, the monument is finished. What we need to do now, of course, is, first of all, stop importing sandstone. Can I actually export it? How do I export? I wonder if I may as well actually be able to sell that. If it is via land trade route, they can go and buy. Actually, you know what? I'll be honest, I don't really care. I don't need the money. What I am going to do, though, and what I was talking about before I realised I had forgotten to unmute my microphone, is that we do need to set up a little housing block area here to get the remaining 1,000 people. Very interesting. Saqqara has opened as a new trade route. Let's have a look what they will do for us. Saqqara is... Where are they? I thought they were... I can't see Saqqara. I must be losing my eyes. Right there in front of me. Saqqara, they will buy... They'll sell us plainstone and luxury goods, which are not of any use to us. They'll buy pottery, which could be useful, and they will buy a little bit of papyrus as well, and wood as well. Okay, and they will open as a land trade route, so you guys can go ahead and continue doing your thing. And here we go, 5,000 people now live in our city. We are currently basically working on getting these fine little things done. We've got kingdom rating, which needs to be bumped up. We need the culture, and we actually are going to need access to a mortuary to get our culture up that high. And for that, we need linen. So let's have a quick look where we can get linen from. Linen is going to come from... Well, where is linen going to come from? That is a good question. They'll sell us beer and barley, and I'm actually going to open you up just because I could use the barley. Saqqara will not sell us anything relevant. Let's have a look down here. Inuit might sell us... No, nothing particularly relevant. Let's have a look there. Okay, you'll actually sell us the linen coming from... What's that, a water trade route from... No, Djedu looks like a land trade route. In which case, I think we can actually get... Let's have a quick look here. We're going to import a bunch of linen. You know what? I may as well get 3,200 of it. Yeah, 3,200 linen I think is where we're going to put this. Now the question is, where are we going to store this linen? I'm going to need a storage yard somewhere. I'm definitely running out of space. That is the real problem that we've got here. But I think a storage yard down here with linen should be more than sufficient. Okay, the linen supply has come in. We have ourselves a fancy residence that has developed up as well. They all bought up the linen, which is nice. We have here a working mortuary, so our people can now get, I guess, mummified and embalmed very, very easily. Very, very nice. And with that, we actually have a quick look here. We have the culture that we required. So we have the culture, we have the prosperity, we have the monument rating, and we have the population well and truly. With that, what we're going to do is send off a quick little sneaky gift off to Pharaoh. Wow, that is a lot of money. How much do I have? Wow, that's nearly half my money. Send off a massive, massive gift to Pharaoh, much as I hate to do it. And that has pushed us over, so we can move finally onwards to victory.
Superb. The glorious Sun Temple you have built honors both Ra and Pharaoh.
Well, there we go. We built up a big sun temple. We have ourselves a very beautiful city. That's the most developed city I've ever actually developed before. I've ever built so far in this LP. So we got linen finally supplied. We have some very, very nice houses. I want to give a big thank you out to Super Sajuk for that housing block. I think it is actually going to be very useful for some of the more open missions that will be coming up. I do like it's a very comfortable block to use. It's very spacious. And if anyone is keen, I suggest they head over to his channel and have a quick look. He may well have some videos up where he is actually using that block or not. I'm not entirely sure about that. But anyway, I've been Blxz. This has been Pharaoh. We've finished Djedu. We'll be heading onwards to a bigger and better challenge next time. Take care and I'll see you then.